In our last video, I made a rather strong claim that Christian fundamentalists, or any religious fundamentalists, for that matter, would threaten all of science, and not merely the theory of evolution by natural selection, if they achieved absolute supremacy in the political realm today. But recall that German theologian Martin Luther called reason
a beautiful whore, God's worst enemy, the devil's bride.
He furthermore stated that
there is on earth among all dangers no more dangerous thing than a richly endowed and adroit reason, especially if she enters into spiritual matters which concern the soul and God. For it is more possible to teach an ass to read than to blind such a reason, and lead it to right, for reason must be deleted, blinded, and destroyed. Faith must trample underfoot all reason, sense, and understanding, and whatever it sees, must be put out of sight, and wish to know nothing but the Word of God.
This gross irrationalism is abhorrent to any person with a semblance of respect for logical thought. The conflict between reason and faith is the focal point of critical atheism. For the atheist, to embrace faith is to abandon reason. Then there is this lovely gem from one of the early church fathers, Tertullian.
After Jesus Christ we have no need of speculation. After the gospel, no need of research. When we come to believe, we have no desire to believe anything else. For we begin by believing that there is nothing else which we have to believe. My first principle is this. Christ laid down one definite system of truth which the world must believe without qualification.
Is it possible to imagine a more stultifying ideology? This is intellectual suicide. Now, Tertullian's explicit advocacy of paradox is extreme even for Christianity, but his open assault on reason is by no means unusual. I'm continually annoyed with apologists who assert the church helped preserve civilization during the Dark Ages. No, not the case. It was the dominance of Christian ideology, exemplified by Tertullian, that caused the Dark Ages, burned pagan libraries, and brought to a virtual standstill all scientific advancement and understanding. The church persecuted Galileo because of this way of thinking. It also held back the advance of medicine, held back the understanding of the germ theory of disease. The best of scientific knowledge of the rational Greeks was preserved in Arabic translation by the Islamic world, then retransmitted back to the West during the Renaissance, kickstarting the scientific revolution.
Then came the rise of fundamentalism in Islam itself and
they've been held back, scientifically and culturally, ever since, down to this day.
While it would be a mistake to attribute to all Christians the overt hostility to reason displayed by Tertullian, the historical attempts to reconcile reason and faith are beside the point. The crucial issue is, have these attempts succeeded? Moreover, can any attempt at rapprochement possibly succeed?
To both of these questions, the answer, I think, is an emphatic no. I'm not merely arguing that, as a matter of historical fact, all attempts to reconcile reason and faith have failed. My position is stronger than this. I'm asserting that all such efforts must fail, that it is logically impossible to reconcile reason and faith.
The concept of faith itself carries a built-in deprecation of reason, and without this anti-reason element, the concept of faith is rendered meaningless. Though he said some not very nice things about atheists, philosopher John Locke also noted Christianity's distaste for reason.
Quote, I find that every sect, as far as reason will help them, make use of it gladly. Where it fails them, they cry out, it is a matter of faith, and above reason. End quote.
If the Christian expands the sphere of reason, he diminishes the boundaries of faith. If reason is declared fully capable of understanding all facts, no aspect of existence is declared off limits to man's mind, the need for faith is eliminated.
Like air rushing into fill a vacuum, faith rushes in to fill the void allegedly left by reason. A harness must be placed on reason to manufacture this need for faith. If reason is released from its bondage, faith is its first and only victim.
This is why reason and faith are incompatible. Faith depends for its survival on the unknowable, the incomprehensible, that which reason allegedly cannot grasp. Faith cannot live in a natural knowable universe. As Pascal observed, if we submit everything to reason, our religion will have no mysterious supernatural element.
So Christians ignore the real world and construct for themselves a Hallmark greeting card cartoon version of reality, though reality has a way of intruding on their little imaginary paradise. By contrast, man committed to reason, a man committed to the unswerving use of rational guidelines in all spheres of existence, has no use for the concept of faith. He can adopt faith only at the expense of reason.
If religion still dominated intellectual life,
none of this technology all around us would even exist. If we cannot sustain a sufficient level of scientific literacy, none of this technology can be maintained or perpetuated. We are always only one generation away from utter barbarism.